Hello, London, how are you? Did anyone else think it was a strange coincidence that the only ethnic comedian of the night brought his passport? Is that normal? Sorry, so I need my wife to film this because I'm about to insult her, and when she tells the story to my parents, she's going to tell it wrong. So I need the evidence. So look, I loved my dad. Bless him, but a few years ago he made the interesting decision to name the family puppy Boris Johnson. Yeah. And look, to be charitable to him, he was slightly more popular at the time, but now we are stuck with a giant golden retriever that only responds to the name Boris Johnson. And my dad, who we love a little bit less because of it, sadly. But a couple of months ago, me, my dad, and Boris were walking in our local park. And you know, he was off the lead because he's normally well behaved unless he gets excited, which is why we keep him off Twitter. And unfortunately, he saw some swans. Are there any dogs in the audience? They can attest that swans are very exciting. And so, before we knew it, the dog just ran, jumped in, was chasing these swans, and with concern, the crowd that was gathering realised that this dog was swimming faster than the swans, and we were preparing for a massacre with bated breath. And thankfully, the swans, just in time, remembered that they can fly. And off they swanned, and crisis averted, or so I thought, because then, running past, there was a jogger, and he was angry looking, as joggers often are. And he did what can only be described as an act of drive-by unsolicited legal advice. Bothering the swans! That's an act of treason against the Queen! I mean, I was sorely tempted to just tell the guy to jog off, but back on the laugh. But where's the fun in that? I couldn't resist, so I said to my dad, I was like, "Oh, Dad, this is serious. Do you think you should maybe write a letter to the Queen, apologising for Boris Johnson's treasonous behaviour?" Let's face it, he's not going to write that letter himself. So, my dad, the earnest fella he is, actually wrote the letter. I could not believe, genuinely, no word of a lie, wrote this letter to the Queen. And, you know, unfortunately, a month ago, I was watching the Queen's funeral on TV with my dad. And the nice thing to do would have been to lean forwards while he was shedding a manly tear and give him some compassion, right? Some support. But I couldn't resist. So I just leaned over and said, "Dad, do you think it was the letter about the swans that did it?" Oh dear. So I shouldn't boast, but I have been decorated by the royal family. His Royal Highness himself, Prince Philip, bestowed upon me the honour of a Bronze Duke of Edinburgh Award. Yeah. Woo! Has anyone here done DLE? Yeah. It's community service, it's sport, running across the malls, all the exercise you need to practice escaping from Prince Andrew. Good. You laughed. Okay, I'm going to go harder on that. So, oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10 million quid. He gave it to someone he never met for something he never did. Hey! Ah, the generosity of the British spirit never ceases to amaze. I only mentioned the nonce formerly known as Prince. Because he is apparently in line to be the next Duke of Edinburgh, which would be really interesting having him give out the awards to the little ones. I thought the worst part of Duke of Edinburgh was the navigating. But I hated the navigating. Like those old fold-out maps, I am glad they've gone the way of the British Empire, frankly. I need a bit of assistance, which is why I love Google Maps, right? And I'm not a confident navigator, right? Unlike my wife, who is 100% certain which turn to take immediately after we've gone past it, which is, you know, it's a useful skill. She is smart and wise in hindsight, right? So, you shouldn't have missed that turning. You shouldn't have trolled your dad at the Queen's funeral. You shouldn't have come so quickly. Okay. Thanks for that ironically too late advice. Like I'm going to take advice from someone that rarely comes. And when they do, they require technological assistance. So the only thing worse than my wife and technology ganging up against me in the bedroom is when I'm in the car and there's this awkward moment where Google says one thing and my wife says another. And no word of a lie, she has actually looked at me cold dead and been like, are you going to listen to that picture over me? Now I'm faced with a dilemma. Do I listen to Google, a trillion-dollar company that crowdsources data from thousands of cars in real time and tells you which turning to take before? Or do I listen to my sexually frustrated wife? And, you know, obviously no contest. So if I'm ever late for an appointment, you know who to blame. Google. They're meant to be smart, they should know never to disagree with my wife. That's a stupid idea. So, God, what was it going? I'm at risk of getting lost. Like when I drive. I might have to finish early. Like when I'm with my wife. I got it. So, we bought a GPS navigation system for my granddad, right? And he fucking loved it. I mean, surprising considering he'd been a taxi driver for 20 years. He was a terrible racist. No, I'm kidding. This was Plymouth 50 years ago. There were no other races for him to be racist about. It's like Schrodinger's racist. Indeterminate quantum state. No, he wasn't racist. He was a brilliant navigator, which is why he loved this GPS. He would actually keep it on just to laugh and disagree with it whenever it gave bad advice. He's like, no, I'm not going to take that road. That's a bad idea right there. Well, he was in a good mood, but my grandma, she never found this funny, tutting. Maybe she was sexually frustrated too. You know? But the woman was a nightmare. I've got to be honest. Like the last family get together, she insisted that we all dress up, suit, tie, the works, right? Such a pain in the ass. And I started telling my jokes, and she started screaming at me. Now, I'm a professional, so I did not let her heckle interrupt my set. But she ruined Granddad's funeral. You've been a much nicer audience than she was. Thank you all very much. Please give it up.